Welcome to Beerstories from Beerstory Brewhouse. A while ago I made a video with 5 big mistakes that I've made and from my experience learned not to do. But that video also got me thinking about other mistakes that I've made. Mistakes I made only once but were really stupid. So this video is 6 mistakes that I have made that you shouldn't. So as I said before, the video I made with the 5 bigger brewing mistakes, which you can find somewhere around here down in the description or somewhere up here in the end of the video. That video really got me thinking about other mistakes that I've made. They might seem like smaller mistakes, but some of them are really annoying and stupid. The first one is a boil over. I hate it when that sticky wort just gets everywhere and you have to clean the floor, the kitchen, your brewing system and everything. So just before it starts to boil, you have to be aware and be ready to stir it around to keep it from boiling over. So that was the first one. The second one is racking over to a secondary fermentation or a bottling tank or whatever you want to call it. I did it in the beginning. And then I stopped doing it because there was just too much to clean. And then I noticed it didn't make a difference. Well, my beer started to get better actually from not doing it. So when you have a beer that's almost ready, if you rack it to a secondary, you're gonna oxygenate it. You're gonna expose it to, you have a high risk of infections. You might get slightly less settlement in the bottom of your bottles. But for me, it doesn't matter if there's just a tiny bit or a little bit. Same difference. It's still there. You have to be careful when you pour your beer anyway. So yeah, it really doesn't bother me. So the risk of infection and the risk of oxygenating my beer, that weighs so much more than just having slightly less settlement in my beer. So I think it's really stupid to rack to secondary. It's just too much to clean and yeah, you take some dumb risks. So number 3, under pitching. I did that several times. I've done it a lot in the beginning because I didn't understand the whole yeast thing. You can watch the video down here with yeast. But the curse I made once that tasted, I could only taste banana. And banana is an estery off flavor you get when your yeast is really stressed out. Some yeast do this. I could have avoided it just with pitching 2 more packages of yeast. So really be aware of your pitching rate. That's really important. Number 4, I've done this quite a few times. So when I mess around with a fermentation tank and not closing the valves, almost the first 10 times or so, I think, when I brewed with especially with my new steel fermenter that has 2 taps. One of them in the beginning, one of them were always open. So when I pour wort in there or just to clean it or sanitize it, I will spill everywhere. I even shut all the yeast out once. That's just so stupid. So I have one rule in my brewery now. Close all taps every time. Even though I'm taking them apart, leaving them to dry, I close it up. Yeah, because I've just done it so many times, spilling, cleaning, sanitizing, sanitizer, wort, water everywhere just because of open valves. And then number 5 is also about valves, actually, or taps. The only infection I've ever had was because it was actually, I brewed a split batch. So I had 20 liters in each fermentation tank. This was way back when I started brewing. The dry hop one was fine. It was actually a great beer. And the other one for my wife got infected. And the only logical reason why is that I hadn't disassembled the tap. So when I bottled, it got infected. So always clean your valves and taps really, really thoroughly to avoid infections. Bottling too soon, that's number 6. I've done this mistake twice. It was in the beginning where I bought kits. The recipe said after 5 days it should be done fermenting. I racked it into bottles. I haven't had any bottles exploding or anything, but just when you open a beer, 2/3 just spill out and you have so much beer left. It's just so tiring after all the work you've done, and you almost got no beer. You can cool it down to about 2 degrees Celsius and open it there. It will contain the CO2 better, but still it sucks. So when the airlock stops bubbling, you have to wait at least 5 days before racking to kegs or bottles or anything like that. It's really important to let the yeast clean up after itself. So you call it VDK rest. It will get rid of all the off flavors because all yeast create off flavors and it has to clean up afterwards. So if the beer is fermenting 5 days, wait 5 days until you bottle. So 10 days, all in all. 14 days, 3 weeks, doesn't matter. The beer will only get better. Actually, I had a friend a colleague at work, he got this kit, just a small 6-liter kit, 1 gallon kit, 2 gallon kit. He brewed for the first time and he was really proud and he wanted me to taste it, and I said, of course. I got home, had it in the fridge, took it out. I was standing in the middle of my kitchen and I opened it and it just said poof, and it shot up in the ceiling and all over my kitchen. I still have stains in my ceiling from that beer. That was a bottle bomb. It could have exploded in my hands, so yeah. So don't bottle too soon. I guess that was it. There'll be a video up here somewhere with the 5 other brewing mistakes I've made. Maybe also the yeast video I made. And other than that, well, follow the channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram and wherever. If you have any experience with some of these, please write them down in the comments. That would be fun. Other than that, just have a happy brewing out there.